Hello? Oh, I heard you for a second there.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
That's nice.
All right, welcome to the stream.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
All right, so can you start by saying which of the developers are you here? Because I don't see your Discord name matching as either one of them.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm Moraguma. I did the coding and the level design and the writing and a little bit of the art.
Okay, excellent. All right, so I will go ahead and open up the post-jam version of the game, which thankfully you have added in a accessibility option where I can disable the screen rotation.
Yeah,
Did you
that
get
was
other
really high.
people? Did you get other people who said that they had issues with the motion on that, or is it just me?
My bad, actually. He didn't play the game, he just watched the display, but he said it made him really sick. So we tried to add that in as soon as possible.
Yeah, all right. Well, chat, you know the deal. If anyone has any questions they would like to submit, then please feel free to do so. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and give the game a play. I've already completed the first couple levels of it from before. So, what other changes did you make in the post-gen version?
Mostly bug correction, but also a lot of smaller fixes with levels. So there were some levels that people were getting stuck in weird places, so we made some changes to make them more intuitive and nicer to play. So it's the same game, but it should be a way smoother playing experience. And also the accessibility thing.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm just queuing that up right this moment. So let's go ahead. We'll turn the game volume up. I think I had the game volume down a little bit too much the first time I tried playing this. So let's see if we can actually make that audible. Thankfully, yours is one of the games that doesn't immediately deafen players the second they turn it on, so I can actually be a little
Oh,
generous with the audio on this one.
yeah, we should have really added some the volume sliders, but I don't really know how to do that quickly, so we didn't. But that's something we want to do later.
Yeah, I mean it's I'm controlling all the audio for every single thing I open up on stream externally anyway, so I'll go ahead and get started with playing the game, and I'll also get started with my first question here, which is how did you decide what you're going to make for the jam?
It's kind of funny actually. I had the idea one day before the jam actually. I was really stressed about what we're gonna make, and I had been working on another game which had a grappling hook mechanic for like a month now. So I was inspired by that, and also I thought about The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. I don't know if you've played it, but it has iron boots, and it has a really neat animation for equipping the iron boots, in which like Link does a little jump. So I thought about this idea for a game in which you were like this character moving in an anti-gravity space, and you could equip and unequip iron boots. If you didn't have any iron boots on, your grappling hook would uh, pull you towards the destination. But if you had iron boots on, you would be like really heavy, and then when you grapple to somewhere, the thing will be pulled to you instead of you being pulled to the thing. When the jam started, we realized that game kind of fit the theme, so we workshopped it a little, and then eventually turned into Whale Eater. Like the iron boots were substituted by the harpoon. That's pretty much it.
Nice. Yeah, I have played through pretty much all the mainline Zelda games, so I'm very familiar with both. I wasn't actually sure which one was the core inspiration, whether it was the iron boots and the crazy upside down magnetic surfaces you could walk along, or whether it was the double claw shots.
It was a little bit of both, like in the initial idea.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
So I'll continue with my next question then, which is, what was your development process like for the game?
It was hell. It was really fun, actually.
Okay.
We started on it was 3 p.m. here when the announced, and we started discussing. I had told our artist, his name's Daniel. I had told him about my initial idea I had one day before, and before the thing was announced, and we were discussing it, and we thought my idea was way better than what the other things we were coming up with. So we started workshopping it into something we could actually more interesting than the Iron Boots idea. It eventually turned into Whale Eater, and after about 2 hours of brainstorming, we started development. So I was programming, coding in Godot, I took a little bit of code from the past game I've been working on, and a little bit of the ideas we had from there to make the basis of this one. And by the end of the first day, we had a working prototype, which was basically every mechanic, which includes like moving platforms, the main movement of the character, all the bubbles. You can see the later levels. So that was it. It was the entire game pretty much ready. The second day we had the juice, the main graphics, and the screen shake, and the level transitions. And by the end of the second day, we had everything done. It was, and the third day was all about just adding more levels.
Nice. That sounds like you were able to, like, the fact that in your very first day you already had like the core mechanics working. That is, I guess in that sense.
We didn't sleep a lot, but it worked really well.
Sorry.
We didn't sleep a lot, but it worked really well.
All right. Well, I guess you had your priorities set in that case. But yeah, it's at least good to know that you've got like a good sense of the game. Like you know how it feels by that point. You know how much it's worth pursuing, and
like I think the prototype is the important part, and then once that works, you can just start adding other stuff without worrying too much.
There we go. Okay, I knew I was forgetting a very simple trick to completing that level there, because like I've already done this.
Right. This is one of the levels that we changed the most, actually. Those two moving platforms on the left and the right, they were original, like you could pull them horizontally. You could like take them out of these things. And a lot of people were thinking that you had to do that, but it completely break the puzzle. So a thing I did was put these little locks so you can actually pull them from to the left or the right. So people are like forced to focus on the main puzzle, which is about moving them vertically.
Yeah, because I think I remember there was like a way to cheese. Well, you could. I think there was like that, and could you cheese this level, or was there something else?
Yeah, it was literally a pixel perfect thing. If I had put the platform 1 pixel above, that wouldn't be possible, but I didn't, so it was. And it made me really sad when I realized that, because it was one of the first levels and it's one of the most important ones. But now it's working properly.
Yeah, nice. Oh, Demonic Tart is asking, did you make the sound, and if so, how was the spooky whale scream made?
The spooky whale scream was actually the sound I made the most. All the sounds from the game were actually like taken from freesound.org, like CC's licenses. But the whale scream sound is like, I took like a whale cry sound and like a monster roar from freesound, and I kind of mixed them up in Audacity. So I'm not really good at like sound editing. This like not my focus at all. But I kind of managed to do that. It's just mashing those two sounds together and messing with pitch and speed, and it came out like that. I'm kind of happy with it.
Yeah, you created this really like noticeably alien but recognizably whale sound.
Yeah, we wanted to do something. A lot of the sounds from the game are taken from this 8-bit pack, and we wanted to contrast that. Like the sounds the robot makes from the 8-bit pack, but the sounds the whale makes are like way more high definition than that. So nice. I think that creates like an interesting contrast.
Absolutely. All right. So, can you recommend a useful shortcut or a clever hack in the Godot engine that you think would be useful to others?
I don't know if anything specific on the Godot engine, but there's this really silly thing, actually. The way we programmed crush collisions on the original game, we calculated the speed of the moving platforms that went by, and we checked if there was a platform like on the opposite side. So like if the moving platform was taken to the left and there was a platform directly to your left, you were crushed. That's how we detected it. It was really bad. It didn't work correctly, and it sometimes detected collisions when there were no collisions. So the way it works on this version you play right now is there's literally just a little hitbox inside the player character. So once you're pushed inside a wall, that hitbox, it activates and it kills you. And it's 20 times simpler, and it's 20 times easier to do. It's more consistent, I think.
Nice. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense to just have like you're in this condition that you know that if this like small collider, either the player has managed to clip inside the wall, or more likely some moving piece of the level has come and crushed the player. So that's going to result in killing them. Sorry?
And either way, we'd like to reset. I think it's kind of funny because it's a really simple solution. and I hadn't thought of it initially, but it works really well.
Yeah, no, it actually makes a lot of sense. So thank you so much for suggesting that. Um, oh, and then Philip Lime. Yeah, well, if you're not able to submit, that's fine. I'm also going to try to keep weekends, maybe one weekend day, potentially open for alternate streams. But consistently, yeah, I'm going to be streaming between 7 and 9:30. I'll also be chopping up all the interviews into VODs. So that if you miss a developer with someone you're interested in seeing their work, then you'll be able to check it out later. Okay. So, do you have any plans for the game going forward, aside from the post-jam fix that you made?
We do actually. I think the post-gem fix is like the last update you see on the itch page for Warrior Leader. But we do have plans for continuing development in it. I'm actually working on another game. It's called Soul Chain. It's like a precision platform Metroidvania, but it's a really big project, and I have zero experience publishing games. So something we thought was interesting was that a Whale Leader is a really complete game as it is, and we think we can make it into a really complete final product in about a month or two. So what we're planning to do is keep developing Whale Leader and make it into this really nice short puzzle game, and release it for cheap on Steam or something. So we're planning on 2 more mechanics, make more interactions with mechanics that already exist, adding a couple more levels and releasing it. That is.
Nice, yeah. I mean, so I have a small amount of experience releasing some games on Steam, and I know that the publishing, getting into game publishing is definitely one of the things that I also know that I need a lot more experience with. And the conclusion that I came to is that I'm sick of putting games out on Steam to die. Because I've released a couple games, but I haven't had any major marketing push behind them, and it was really a question for me of, can I build a large enough following that the people who are just checking out my stuff are going to be interested enough in buying this game and it can grow by word of mouth? Maybe, maybe not. But also the other alternative being, can I approach a publisher with some experience publishing indie games and see what they have to say about, can they handle the marketing support? If I can just say, listen, I'll get the game made, here's how much interest there is in the build-up to launch, but can you help get this in front of the audience that I think it deserves? So, yeah, I think that focusing on Whale Eater as this kind of smaller project to see what some of the pitfalls you're going to be facing in the attempt to publish it is a really good idea. I wish I had more specific advice that I could be giving you, but all I can really say is that it's also a hurdle that I'm coming up against, and I have come up against a few times, and that I'm still looking out for a solution.
I see. Yeah, that's cool. I think something I have going in my favor is that I'm in college for computer science, and I have this student group that we together, and they have a lot of publishing contacts already. So something I'm pretending to do is talk to some people there, because I know a lot of people that actually have publishing experience. So I think I can probably get a smooth journey by just talking to them and getting advice from them.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent resource to have. I think it's one of the most valuable things that you have in school is the connections that you make along the way. And yeah, as Dr. Tronic says, marketing is a really hard part of game dev. For some people, marketing is their bread and butter. That you have people in these dedicated roles for a reason. So it's when you make a team, it isn't just about having your programmer, your artist, your sound designer. You also need someone on the team who's actually going to help get the game in front of other people. So you can't go without any. A game is not going to work as a product unless you really have a complete team in that sense.
Yeah, I get that. It's really hard, honestly. I thought it was just gonna be about making a good game that I believed in, but it's far more complicated than that. And it's exciting, but it's also really scary because I'm not a marketing guy. I'm a game developer guy.
Exactly. So I think I got to this level and I was only able to complete it before because of the cheesed solution. So I don't know if I'll actually be able to complete it on stream this time, but
You're close, actually.
Sorry?
You're really close actually to the solution.
Of course.
From where
Well,
you
okay. Chat, if anyone has any questions they'd like to submit, please do so now. Otherwise, you already mentioned the game that you were working on. Can you send me a link in Discord and I'll pull it up on the stream?
Of course. It's been like a month in development now. I can show you. Let me get a Google. I have some stuff on Twitter.
Absolutely. And also, like, just in general, any other shout-outs to other people or project that you'd like to promote?
Of course. Let me just. I'll get a link to the project I'm working on, and I'll get a link to the artist because he's really good.
Yes, completely agree.
Send over a link to my game.
Oh my goodness, this level is always going to confound me. There's just something about the geometry that's not clicking in my brain. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and open up the way I can easily minimize this. Not really. Okay, that's fine. So here we go. Soul Chain. Yes. I'll go ahead and repost the link in the chat there, so everyone can take a look. Ah, yes, the good old pitchy game time. Precision platformer with Metroidvania elements.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's pretty
Alright.
fun. It's like all grappling hook mechanics, but the grappling hook is like a physical thing, so it can bend around obstacles. I think it's really interesting.
Alright, and then here is your actual handle. I'll go ahead and repost that as well. Demonic Tart, good night. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. You keep saying I'm really close to solving the level, but I am just, it's one of those things where if I can solve a puzzle without dedicating too much of my brain power to it, then I just don't know where to go from here. Like that's the wrong answer, and oh my god, it's just that. It's just that. Okay. For some reason, I always forget that you can just walk off a ledge, and that gives you a little bit of extra distance to be floating in space.
I find that kind of weird actually, because it's a mechanic that we try to reinforce a lot in the earlier levels. Like pretty much every level, one you have to do that, but a lot of people seem to get stuck on that. So I don't know. It's just I guess it's not really as intuitive as we thought. Just jumping up a platform and not falling. So that's something we want to like work on. Maybe make some like easier levels before that one. Like really reinforce that idea of like jumping off a platform to complete, to like go a little bit more distance. More distance.
I mean, I guess there's, and I've come up against this a lot. Is that you can tutorialize it effectively. Like it might take a lot of time. I guess you'd have a better sense of this than I do. I guess you could say, would you say that most players have trouble with that, or that most players get it and just a significant portion of them have trouble?
I think most players get stuck on that level specifically. They don't really have a lot of problem like the idea of floating off a platform, because they do a lot of it in the other levels, but that level specifically seems to stump them a lot, just because it has a lot of vertical movement you have to do, but like horizontally by falling off platforms. So I don't know. I think we just need a little more time to like explain that idea better and use it in like more varied scenarios before we introduce that one that is a little more complicated.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's the important thing to remember, is that you can always inject levels earlier into the game. It's not always just about adding more to the end. Let's see. Boikawa is mentioning should have made the main character Coyote, then it would have been more intuitive.
Maybe I should.
Little Robo Coyote.
Make most sense as a way leader.
All right. Okay. Well, if no one else has any other questions, then I'm not even going to begin to attempt this next level because goodness knows how long the last one took me. I don't think I'm going to give chat any false hope that I'm going to complete it. But everyone else is welcome to try it for themselves, of course. And there's even a wonderful level select so you can get through the game, even if there's just one level that's really stumping you. So
By the way, did you get to see the ending last time?
yes, last time I was advised to go ahead and try the heart level to get to the very end of the game.
Worked really hard on that one.
Sorry?
We worked really hard on that one.
Yeah,
The heart.
absolutely. Yeah, because this is the other thing, you can see it pictured here. The art, the polish, like everything about this game, super, super well done. I'm glad that there was at least a cameo appearance of it in the GMTK video today.
Thank you. We're really happy.
Excellent. All right. Well, if you have any other projects, perhaps a in-development build of Soul Chain that you would like any feedback or you'd like to feature on the stream, then please do send it my way.
You can actually find like a really early version of Soul Chain on my itch page, but I don't think I want to share it because it's bad.
Okay. I mean, I leave it entirely up to your discretion. You know, it doesn't have to be right now. It can be sometime down the line. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me on the call today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. Have a good evening and hopefully get to talk again soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, so that has been Whale Eater, and we were just joined by Moraguma, the programmer and game designer, and then the art and game design were also done by Amorad Bot. I should have asked the pronunciation of that one. But yeah, super, super well-polished game. I have to get to the end of this at some point. My reputation of being bad at completing puzzle games on stream, I guess, continues for now.